Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I've got a fun chop it up inspired project for you. Let's get ready to chop some of those pattern papers.
You are what I'm looking for. I know what I'm looking for.
Okay, today's project we're going to be using 6x6 pieces of paper. I've got a little template that I've created to walk me through the steps on creating these little treat boxes. So I've just got some baker's twine wrapped up around here, and inside we've got these little chocolates. This will hold a variety of little small bite-sized chocolates or candies or whatever you want to put inside of these. These are super cute and great little Halloween gifts. And the project is super easy to make. For my project, I started with a 12x12 piece of paper. So I'm basically just going to cut this down into 6x6 papers. So you can use 6x6 paper pads to create this as well, or you can get 4 projects out of one 12x12 sheet of cardstock. So I'm just going to pop this pumpkin pattern paper into my trimmer, and I'm going to cut it down into 4 panels that measure 6x6 inches. I'm only going to walk through one treat box with you today because they're super simple and easy and they're really fun to create. All right, so let's pull in the little template that I've got here. I'm going to grab my scoreboard and a score tool, and I'm going to pop my cardstock into my scoreboard, and I'm going to start scoring. If the orientation of your paper matters, you want to make sure that your paper is upright here, and we'll start scoring. So your first score is going to be at 1 3/4, and then the second score will be 2 3/4, and the third score will be at 4 1/2, and then the next one will be at 5 1/2. Okay, and then we're going to rotate the paper 1 turn to the left, and we'll score here at 1 1/2 inches and 5 inches. And then that's going to be it for the scoring. We can put the scoreboard away, and we're going to start cutting up this paper. So using the template guide as sort of a reference, I'm just going to follow along here. The top part of this pattern paper where the score marks are is thicker than the bottom part. So we're going to cut away that bigger piece, and we're just going to follow along the score mark and cut away that entire side right up until that last score line, and then cut that piece away. This little piece is going to be the closing flap of our box. All right. And then I'm just going to angle cut this little side flap here, this 1/2 inch little piece. And I'm just following along my little template here. And I'm going to cut away that bottom corner piece and angle cut as well. So I'll just do that together in one fell swoop. So I'll cut both of those pieces away. And then I'm just referring back to the guide each time to make sure that I'm cutting in the right spot. So now I'm going to cut up those score lines on the bottom up until we hit the first horizontal score line. Okay, so I'm just going to cut those pieces up, and then I'm going to fold these larger tabs up and out of the way. I want to make some angle cuts on these little tabs here. So by folding those other ones up and out of the way, I know which ones that I'm supposed to angle cut so I don't get confused. Okay, so I'm just going to create a little notch in these. It just helps everything fold together nicely, and it will help close up the bottom of the box without any interference. So I'll get those pieces cut away. All right, and then I'm going to grab my corner rounder, and I'm just going to round the corners and the flaps of the closing part of our little box here. This part is optional. You can use other sort of edge punches and things to decorate these. I'm just going to use a corner rounder. It's nice and simple. I'm going to grab my bone folder, and I'm going to crease all of the folds on these score lines. And in the template here, we've got the areas that are marked in green, and that's where we're going to apply adhesive to seal everything together. So I'm just going to crease all of these folds and then get ready to form my box. While I'm creasing all these folds, I'm making sure that everything lines up and the box is going to be nice and straight and symmetrical when we put it together. So I'm going to grab some liquid adhesive, and I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue to that 1/2 inch little tab. And then I'm going to fold the box over on top of it, and it should line up perfectly here. And then I'll just press in that adhesive and just kind of work the box back and forth to make sure that nothing is glued shut. And then I'm going to take the bottom of the box here and fold in those little tiny tabs that we had angle cut. And I'll fold those in, and I'm going to apply a little bit of adhesive here. So I'm going to fold the tab over and then apply adhesive on the back of that tab and fold the last tab over top. And then I'm going to flip my box over, and I'm going to use my bone folder to put a little bit of pressure in the bottom of this box. So I'm just making sure all that glue sticks together and the bottom of the box is nice and strong, and that it's also nice and squared up. Okay, so there we go. Here's our box come together. Now it's time to just pinch and cinch the top. So I just kind of put my finger in the middle of that paper and push it inwards and then press it shut. And then this will just create that little pinch top. And then our box is pretty much done. Now we're able to pop our little treats inside of there, and all we have to do is figure out a way to close it now. So there are many ways that you can close these up. You can tape them, you can glue them, you can put Velcro, magnets, whatever you want to do. I have lots of tiny little eyelets, and I think these are super cute to use. Like I said, you can put any different kinds of things here. You could even use brads or whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to grab my corner chomper, and I'm going to punch a hole and grab one of these tiny little eyelets, and I'm going to set that into the flap of my box here, and I'll use my crocodile to pinch that eyelet and set it in. And then I'm just going to grab some baker's twine and feed it through this hole. So when I feed my baker's twine through, I make sure that one end is longer than the other. Because I want to wrap this around the entire box, I need one piece that's a little bit longer. So the shorter piece I'm going to pull upwards towards the top of the box, and the longer piece I'm going to wrap all the way around the bottom, up through the back, and then back to the top to tie it up. I really fiddled with this on the video, and I kind of got off the camera because I was trying to pull it closer to me so I could see. So I just thought I would just explain to you how I did it because I lost the footage there. So anyways, that's what I've done. One piece longer than the other, wrapped it all the way around, tied it up into a pretty little bow, and then that's it. Super cute, and the little box is complete. Now I have this little scrap left over, and I thought, wouldn't it be cute if I would have added a little tiny tag to this? Now I've already tied up my box into a knot, and I'm not getting that baker's twine undone. So I just trimmed out this little tiny tag, and then I took my crocodile and punched a little hole here, and then I created like a sort of a zigzag cut. So I came in a little bit off of the punched hole, and then made like this sort of L shape so that I could kind of hook the tag around my baker's twine, and then it would sit on there nicely. So that's a good way to kind of add the tag after the fact. So I thought that was really cute. If you wanted to give this away as gifts for, you know, your kids or your family, nieces and nephews, grandkids, things like that, it would be super cute. Alright, so that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I appreciate the support as always. Coming up on screen is a playlist to my entire Chop It Up series with over 60 plus videos on creative and crafty ways to chop up your cardstock. Thanks again for joining me. Have yourself a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!